All right, guys. So we have a request from my wife's friend Diana to do the longest ride. Personally, I didn't think this would be my first Nicholas Sparks movie review, but like I promised all of you, when you ask for me to review something, I will do it, no questions asked. So let's dive into it. Longest Ride came out in 2015, PG 13, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Let's dive into the cast a little bit before we get into the concept of this film. So we have Britt Robertson, who plays Sophia Danko. We have Scott Eastwood, who plays Luke Collins. Excuse me. We have Alan Alda, who plays Irv Levinson. We have Jack Houston, who plays young Ira. We have Una Chaplin, who plays young Ruth. And we have Melissa Benoist, who plays Marcy. Now, as you can tell, it's a romance. So, the biggest thing that I want to, I guess, kind of throw at you with The Longest Ride is both Luke and Sophia are probably the two people that you would never think would ever be together. Now, the whole film starts off with, we get introduced to Luke. He's a bull rider. And he ends up hurting himself. And so, we get, I guess, a scene jump. And we end up being introduced to Sophia, who's in a sorority. And so her friend Marcy was, they all want to go out and see these bull riders. And Sophia's like, no, I have to study, I'm here on a scholarship. That's what I need to do. And Marcy's like, come on, you're not going to regret it. And sure as shit, she didn't regret it. She ends up meeting Luke. And they instantly hit it off because, especially cowboys, it seems like in at least most movies, they're very suave and sophisticated. So, they end up hitting it off and they end up going out on a date. And like most guys, he's a bonehead. He's trying to live his life, but he's trying to also, he can't help that he's fallen in love with this girl. And on their first date, she doesn't lie. She doesn't hide anything. She goes, hey, I'm moving to New York in 2 months. And so at that point, the whole film could have ended. But then we get hit with being introduced to Ira. As he's driving her home, a car crashes on the guardrail and they save a guy's life. Well, his name's Ira. He's an older gentleman, and they end up finding that Ira is part of this giant love story. Now, I'm not going to go way too much into this film because you have to experience it yourself. And that's how I'm going to be with a lot of the Nicholas Sparks films, because they have this little, I guess, they have this way of timing things that will get you choked up, will get you to feel what they're feeling. And one of the biggest things that I want to say about this film is it's very realistic. Because you got Luke, who wants to stay as a bull rider to try and help his mom out, but in reality, he's just being stubborn. You have Sophia, who wants to live her dream, but she's so in love with Luke, she doesn't know what to pick. And now, if you look at any relationship, any true relationship, there's always sacrifice. And remember that word because it's very intuitive in this film. In a good relationship, if you can't sacrifice something that you love for the woman or the man that you love, it will never last. Because you have to make sure that you guys can both be on the same page, and you have to make sure that, you can't live without them. And that's one of the biggest key that The Longest Ride, it points out. When you end up understanding the relationship between Ira and his wife Ruth, and then you see Sophia and Luke, it's going to show you that that's the love that you want to search for if you don't have it already. IMDb gave it a 7.0 out of 10. I give it a 5 out of 5. I mean, I'm very biased because I love Scott Eastwood. He's one of the most underrated actors that are out there. And I'm not just saying that because he's the son of Clint Eastwood. Honestly, I prefer Scott over Clint. But if you are interested in watching this, it's on Peacock. If you've already seen it, let me know what you think. If you're gonna watch it, let me know what you think after. Because like I said, I highly suggest you check this out. Because even though, I mean, came out 10 years ago, it's still one hell of a film. So, give it a watch and let me know.